So turning it around a little bit,
Let's
man.
do it.
What got you started into podcasting? Because you do well behind the camera, and I think Steven will attest to that. Like you do great editing, you do great camera work.
The guy's a machine. He's a machine.
But usually you don't find both, right? I mean, you know, Johnny Carson wasn't failing himself. You know what I'm saying? So like, how does it work? How do you put yourself in front of the camera after going through all that? What really got you to this side of the camera?
What the most important thing to note is when you're in a career, especially in the arts, I think it's important to be able to pivot, because not a lot of times, especially when you're in our industry, work is not very steady. You know, when you're working in video production, hey, you know more than me. So it's hard.
He was like, yeah, you're like,
there is like everything to do, or there is nothing to do.
Nothing to do. Yeah. So you're literally like constantly going, carrying your equipment everywhere, recording video, editing, or you're just sitting on the couch waiting for the phone to ring. Wow. And it's those times that it gets you thinking, at least for people who are entrepreneur and have that mindset of, I got to keep going somehow. So I had to pivot when work started to dry up a little bit. I decided that the best thing to do, I was just sitting around the house and I saw the equipment and I was like, you know what? This will make a great podcast studio. Like, I'm just going to start my own podcast and just start putting myself out there. And the more people see my face, they're going to, you know, reach out or whatever. And I thought it was going to lead to more commercial work. It's going to lead more to me going out there and shooting. But what ended up happening is when I started the podcast and I started putting out some of these, I was smart because I got local artists to come in and I would just interview them. Like, hey, I'll give you some free content, you know,
free advertisement.
Free advertisement. So when I started putting those out there, they went viral. Like, I was getting thousands and thousands of views from, you know, people who follow them.
Right.
And then they started reaching out to me and saying, hey, your podcast looks great. Like, I love your camera. It looks really good quality. It looks super sharp. I love your lighting. Like, where do you shoot? And I'm like, this is my studio. Like, I built it. It's my house.
Like, what do you mean where? We're in the blue box, man.
Exactly. You're in the blue box right now.
Blue box. But you know what I find too, especially is when you're doing it, when you have the professionals that do both sides, because I've seen Steven act, literally acting on stage, is that you tend to appreciate both sides of it when you've done both sides of it.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's different, right? Yeah. So when you start talking to people, they're like, yeah, I've got this camera and I got this lighting and you're doing this, and you've never been on that side, you don't really appreciate what it can do for you and what it does to you until you're trying to get somebody to do what you need them to do on the other. I need to turn to the left. No, I need to put this camera. Okay, you're killing me. You're just killing me, Smalls.
Yeah.
Your other
That's
left.
How you learn.
But when you get on both sides, your other left. But when you do it and you start to get to realize, like, it's a challenge on both sides.
Yeah.
You know, and really, I think you appreciate it more because you understand it more.
Yes.
You know, it's not just sitting in front of the camera and going, okay, I'm done. I get to walk off. I know that there's, editing to be done behind that. I know that one gaff is, okay, I got to find that gaff. It's somewhere in this episode that I've got to take out.
Yes.
I've got to make sure it looks good. And if the coloring isn't good, I've got to make the coloring look good. They don't understand that, right? And until you do it, it's like you just don't understand it. And I value what you guys do to the umpteenth degree
because you've done it.
Because I've done it with my two little cameras,